Today I'd like to speak to you about social engagement and what social engagement actually means. And I'm sure it's got everything to do with spirituality as such, because that's who we are and that's how we are engaging with each other. And the way we engage with each other is what makes us feel good or bad, high or low, or indifferent. So I'm going to be interviewing a lady called Angela from Perth this coming Thursday, which is South Pacific time, and it'll be, of course, later for everybody in Europe and the States. So a friend of mine from the Cayman Islands, Bettina, she sent me a whole lot of numbers, and each one had a little thing on social engagements and our behavior in a social environment. Some of them I've tweaked, and I would love your input, because I think no matter where we are in the world, there's a certain way that we can get the best out of each other. But in some parts of our world, maybe culture dictates a certain kind of behavior. And I wondered if there are any forms of social engagement that you feel should be added to this list. This is just a brief list, but I think it's open for discussion. I think it's something good that we could discuss with each other. So the very first one: don't call people after 9 o'clock at night unless it's an emergency or a prior arrangement that you said you're going to be calling. And usually it's because people think something terrible's happened and they get a fright. And don't call people during dinner time. This is the time when they relax, whether they by themselves, whether they're with family members or just a husband and a wife or a partner. Just give them a break. Just give them a break. Number 2, return borrowed money before the person asks you for that money back. If you've agreed that it's going to be given back at a certain time or within a certain period, don't wait until that person asks you. They were kind enough to lend it to you. Be decent enough to give it back. And that goes with anything that you've borrowed from anyone: books, clothing, vehicles, whatever. Don't be silly, because if you don't give it back, they are never going to lend anything to you again. I mean, why would they? Number 3, never order expensive food on the menu just because somebody else is paying for it, whether that's your family or your friends. And make sure that whoever buys you a meal, you do the same for them in return. And if you know that you won't be able to reciprocate, then just pay for yourself. But this happens a lot at weddings, I've noticed, that people will drink stuff at weddings or in business situations because the company's paying or somebody else is paying. They drink alcohol, the kind of alcohol they never normally would drink, just because somebody else is paying. Guys, this is bad form. What do you think? And don't ask awkward questions like, why aren't you married yet? Why don't you have kids? Why didn't you buy a house? Why don't you buy a car? And never ask a large person if they're pregnant. It could embarrass both of you if the answer is no. Always open the door for somebody walking behind you. Even in a lift, hold the lift. And it's just good manners. It's just being kind. Stand up if you're being introduced to someone, if you're sitting down. I'll go into a room and people are sitting down and they go, oh, hi, this is Jill, and everybody just sits. I was always taught that if somebody walks into the room, you stand up, you say hello, you welcome them, and you sit down. Especially if you are, if you've got children, it's always a good idea for them to learn a little bit of confidence and step forward and say, hi, I'm so-and-so, hello. And don't hug someone when you get introduced for the very first time. You don't know that person. You don't know their personal space or their boundaries. It seems in the spiritual community that everybody automatically hugs everyone. I never realized that I even had an issue with this until about a weekend ago when I went away with a whole lot of girls. And I didn't know these girls at all, and yet everybody was hugging everybody. My personal space is mine. If I know you for a while and I really enjoy you and I see you again, more than likely I'll give you a hug. But if I'm meeting you for the very first time, don't throw your arms around me. Give me a little bit of space. Give me the opportunity or the choice to embrace you. It's the same as when somebody comes around for dinner and they give you a kiss right on your lips. Is that appropriate? Would you prefer it on the cheek? What do you think? What about if you take a taxi with a friend and he or she pays for it? Will you pay for it the next time? And if you know there won't be a next time, put your hand in your pocket and pay your share. These are the things that just make people get on well and make them want to see you again. Respect different shades of opinions, even if you disagree. Remember, what is 6 to you will appear 9 to somebody facing you. Never assume that everybody thinks like you do. Just wait, just watch, and just listen. And try not to interrupt people when they're talking. Try and hold your thought. Allow them to pour it all out. And then check to see if they are finished before you reply. If you tease someone and they don't seem to enjoy it, stop it and never do it again. Number 10, always say thank you when somebody does something for you. If somebody's helping you, thank you. Now, this is quite a good one. Always give praise publicly. Don't be scared or shy, should I say, to praise somebody. If somebody's done something that's great, let them know and let everybody else know, wow, this person did a good thing. But if you have a problem with somebody at work or in the family, speak about it in private and directly to the person. Do not burden your colleagues or your family members with the problem, especially if the person you're talking about is not there to defend themselves, because you're actually only hearing one side of the story. And then if you actually heard the other side of the story, you might understand why that issue even arose in the first place. But then you're left with that feeling, and you can't judge because you don't know what's happened really. Number 12, there's almost never a reason to comment on somebody's weight if they're super, super thin or super, super fat. If they want to talk about it, they will. You don't know what they're carrying inside. When somebody shows you a photo on their phone, don't get it and start swiping left or swiping right, because you don't know what the next photo could be. It could be super private and very inappropriate. If somebody tells you they have a doctor's appointment, don't ask them what for. Just say, I hope you're okay. Because if they want you to know, they will tell you. This is one of my pet hates, when I see people treating people so rudely, be it behind an airline desk, at a hotel, a restaurant, anywhere where you've got hospitality or somebody doing a service. I think it actually says so much about the person that's being rude rather than the person that's receiving the rudeness. So it says, don't be rude or aggressive with anybody who serves you in any way. All it shows is a lack of control and rudeness on your part. It doesn't make you the bigger person by being loud, rude, swearing, and aggressive to anyone, and not anyone and everyone actually wants to hear it either. There's a certain way to conduct yourself in public. If a person is speaking directly to you and you're having a conversation with them, please look at them, not your phone. Don't start looking at things on your phone when you're with someone. If someone invites you somewhere and you say that you're going to check your schedule, then check it and let them know quickly, because you don't know what else is going on in their lives and what plans they have to make. You're not, that important that, you're going to get back to them like the Queen or the King. And if you know that you don't wish to go, just say thank you. But no thank you, that is something I can't do at the moment. When meeting with new friends or old friends, never discuss your personal finances or their finances with anybody else. Mind your business, unless it involves you directly. Stay out of it. Remove your sunglasses when you talk to somebody so they can actually see you. They can see your eyes, because when you see each other's eyes, it's a much better way of communication. It would be like me talking to you now and having my sunglasses on. The eyes are expressive. They have a little language all of their own. So take your sunglasses off. Always say thank you if somebody has done something for you. I'm sure I've said that in this little chat already, but go for it. Okay, this is one of my favorites. The health of your body, the health of your mind, and the health of your bank account actually depends on what you decide to place in them. No one else. You're responsible. And please don't spit in public. It's incredible how some people think this is still okay. Or just spit as you're walking and it just lands next to your feet. And gum. Guys, why is there so much gum on the pavements? Don't people know about rubbish bins? And on buses and public places? No. Put your gum in the bin. And never chew with your mouth open and talk at the same time. No one wants to see what you're eating. It's disgusting. Keep your mouth closed. Always give up your seat for pregnant women. Give up your seat for the elderly. Give up your seat for those that are disabled. And if you see a mum with little kids, give them your seat. You're going to feel great about it. And you're actually helping somebody, because you never know when you're going to be in that position yourself. And lastly, treat anyone and everyone the way you would like to be treated. So if there's anything that you'd like to add to that or disagree with, woohoo, let me know. And otherwise, on Thursday/Friday, we're going to hear from Angela about your spiritual hygiene, why spirituality needs a hygiene routine. And that's all for today. Okay, lots of love.